Race fans, welcome back to the SRAM 2024 Downhill Southeast Series. We're here at Windrock Bike Park in Oliver Springs, Tennessee. Summertime is in full swing here on the Cumberland Plateau. We're on our 10th race here in the 9 seasons of Downhill Southeast, and at a full 1,000 feet of vertical, this is also our longest track here to date. The forecast has been threatening rain, but so far we've had prime dirt and amazing course conditions. Let's head on up the hill for a breakdown on this weekend's course. Out of the start gate, we drop into our opening segment, which carried over from this year's Tennessee National. Now here there's a couple of line options and a few corners before spitting out into the new off-camber link-up, dropping our racers straight into the upper Snake Rock Garden. Now, this section is notoriously tricky and absolute precision is required in order to maintain speed and momentum before dropping into split one and into the steeps of the classic caveman section. Here our riders are met with hard compressions, fast technical chutes, and blinding fast corners. As we drop into split number 2, the battle switches gears into an all-out sprint, which sets the tone for the bottom third of our course, where you've got to give it everything you've got and carry as much speed as possible right into the insanely fast reach-around motorway. But it's not over yet, and you better stay off those brakes to carry every bit of momentum you can through our final sprints all the way down to the finish line.
Thanks, Rich. I am Will Washam, and I'm here in the announcing booth with Drew Hager as we get ready for this pro women's final here at round number 4 Downhill Southeast at Windrock. Raina Logar is at the top of our seating sheet. She put down a 3:41 yesterday with Caitlyn Farmer 1.5 seconds behind her, Manny Santamarina in third, Zanna Logar in fourth, and Delaney Stolt rounding out our top 5.
It's great to see Caitlyn Farmer back in the mix here, recovering from an injury, and she won here in 2022.
And Drew, Zanna Logar is going to start us off. She's our hot seat rider riding for the Gravity Collective. Interesting seeing Zanna come down this early. Must have been a mistake yesterday in her run. She took a win at round number 1 at TTC, and she is our overall points leader.
That's right. She's kind of got a little bit of pressure put on her because she is the overall points leader. But, you know, a lot of things could have happened here at this course this weekend. That heat was hot out here. Everybody was kind of struggling a little bit with that.
Yeah, you're right, Drew. The expectations have been raised for Zanna Logar, and her riding's been raised as well this year. She turned pro last year here at Downhill Southeast, but as you mentioned, finds herself at the top of the standings. And we're getting our first look at this course today, Drew. It looks chopped up in some of these turns.
You know, it's actually a lot smoother than it looks in some of these turns. It's got this nice layer of dust on top of hard. So what you see on top is really just kind of that powdery dust, but what's underneath it's pretty good and solid. It's a pretty fast course, believe it or not.
Well, we're going to be seeing our top 3 riders next as we see Zanna through split number 2 of 2:08. And Drew, that's faster than our fastest second split from yesterday from Raina Logar by almost a second.
Yep, keeping up the pace, pretty good there. This section right here, you're starting to get a little bit tired. It's kind of physical. But the course kind of gets into faster states as you get going. It gives you some more pedally sections towards the bottom.
Well, I don't think that's going to bother Zanna at all. She is dominant in all disciplines of cycling, taking numerous wins in cross-country races this year, and she's going to put down a 3:41.37. That's a little bit faster, less than a second faster than Raina's fastest seating time from yesterday.
Yep.
So things solid. Heating up here in Windrock, Drew. We've got our top 3 to come. And Manny Santamarina will be our next racer. She's out of Noonan, Georgia, riding for Outlive and Monster Army.
Yeah, super proud to see her in the show. This is proof that grassroots racing works. She came up through the ranks racing her age category, and, you know, she made the brave maneuver of stepping up to pro this year. And look, she's made the show, Will.
Yeah, and to do it at Windrock, what an iconic venue to get on the replay show for your first time. New lines coming into this rock garden here. Drew Manny's opting for the outside line. It's such a crucial section up high in your run. It's a 39.63, so she's less than a second back.
Yep. And a lot of the line choices that can be made on this course come down to some very crucial pinch points. And it's kind of strange because the places where it's wide open, it's got the obvious line. So you have to make those decisions count when it's kind of tight.
Yeah, those slow sections, they're always separators on downhill tracks. As Santa Marina dives into this right-hander, these are some new sections that the folks at Windrock have cooked up this year a little bit by necessity when Mother Nature came and washed a bunch of the trails out. But, man, this track is looking so good.
Yeah, and one thing that you won't find any lack of at Windrock is rocks, for that matter. And a lot of the washout that happened from that storm that they've had to come over, I really don't know where they found the dirt to fix it, Will.
Well, Santa Marina's finding some speed here, Drew. She was up by a second on her time from yesterday at split number 2. She's back on the time of Zanna Logar, but it looks like she's really putting a good one together. I mean, that's so key in downhill building from seeding into finals. Continue to find some speed as she gets into these high-speed lower sections.
Yeah, she definitely looks like she's gotten more confident with speed this year as opposed to previous years, and, it's good because she stepped up to pro, and, no matter what, super proud of her for making the show and qualifying.
Yeah, it's a 3:47 for Manny, so she's going to drop almost 4 seconds from her time yesterday. That'll slot her into second place. Let's go to our top 2 riders, and Caitlyn Farmer, our second to last racer. She's out of Atlanta, Georgia. You can see the smile on her face. She's so stoked to be back here racing at Windrock. Made her debut back to downhill racing after a gnarly injury at the Tennessee National. And she's picked up some more pace for racing here today, Drew.
Yep, absolutely. Super quick right out of the gate, and I think, that's obviously what you want to do when you want to get going quickly. But you got to maintain that, too, so I don't know if you favor preserving a little bit of that for further down in the course or if it's smart to burn it out like that.
Oh, well, Caitlyn Farmer burning it up at the top. She's up by almost a second on Zanna Logar, and her lines through that rock garden were perfect. She's got that BMX background and was getting tons of drive through that chunky section. And 1 second at the top, Drew, that's huge.
Yeah, well, BMX, you say, that's why the gate starts super quick. It all makes sense now.
Farmer throwing it into that left-hander. Oh, and whips the right as well.
That was a good corner.
Those tire knobs are screaming from Caitlyn Farmer. She's trying to hold this pace that she put down at the top. Was almost a second up at split 1. Oh, no, but she's lost time, Drew. She's dropped back to third now at 2:11.5.
Well, still intact for the podium. Let's see what happens as we keep continuing down the course. There's a lot of places you can make up speed, especially in the motorway. It favors people who can get on the pedals.
Well, Farmer can definitely lay down the power. Almost looks like she's regrouping a little bit right here, Drew, before this big sprint section towards the bottom.
Yep. Got to treat this section like a pump track through here.
How is it going to be for her?
And Caitlyn Farmer's going to come across. She'll go second. The 3:45.98, 4.6 back off the top time of Zanna Logar, and that's going to be a guaranteed podium with just one rider left to go, and that final rider is Raina Logar out of Davis, West Virginia for the Gravity Collective. Raina has been on a burner of a season. Second place in our overall, just 5 points off the lead. Back-to-back third places for her, Drew, in rounds number 2 and 3.
That's right, and being the younger of the 2 Logar sisters, you got to think it probably feels good that, for her, that she qualified ahead of her sister. It's kind of a younger sibling thing to do sometimes, right?
Yeah, it is. Those younger siblings, man, they just keep nipping at your heels. And this could be a big day for Raina Logar. We'll look to split number 1. Oh, and it's a big number right there. 3/4 of a second up at the top split.
Yep, showing that it is not a fluke. She's out here to win.
And I liked the lines she held as it got steep right there. She was letting the bike run wide, carrying a ton of speed. She dives into some of the more technical bits of the track. Oh, and a double, Drew.
The double, right on. Nice and collected off the diving board there.
Yes, it's definitely some confident riding here from Raina Logar. You can just see the body language as she extends it 1.3 seconds into the green and floats over that G-out.
That's super impressive.
Oh, man, she's just looking so comfortable and confident on this bike. She's one with her machine today.
Shooting the gap between the trees there.
Yeah, nailing all the lines. That RockShox suspension looking super smooth here. I'm sure they've got it dialed in for this bottom pedal as well. Well, this could be a huge run. Raina Logar looking to take her first win at Downhill Southeast in the pro class. Will she hold on to that advantage? And she will, Drew. It's a 2-second win.
Well, hats off to Raina.
Good job, Raina.
Hopefully her and her sister are still on good terms after the sibling rivalry here today.
I was definitely like at the top. I could feel my heartbeat in my stomach. I was so nervous, but my race was really smooth and felt fast. Definitely really competitive, and it's good competition. The extra pedal, you had to take a deep breath before because you had to get ready for it.
Well, let's go to our podium here. Raina Logar going to stand on top of the Downhill Southeast podium. Zanna Logar in second and Caitlyn Farmer here in third. Congratulations to our podium riders and to Raina Logar for her first win in the pro class.
And welcome back, Caitlyn.
Diving into our pro men's seating results, no surprise at the top of the order with Cole Sweetos, putting down a 3:09, 4 seconds clear of second place with Nick Frasier there. Chris Leig in third, David Kahn fourth, and to round out our top eight, we've got Conor Castler, Spencer Brown, Titus Nicholson lurking in seventh, and Jake Kahn in eighth.
That's right. We got a bunch of familiar names, a new one or two, and some young guns that are nipping at these guys' heels.
And Dominic Mundy out of North Royalton, Ohio will start us off. He's our hot seat rider. He came down in dead last yesterday, Drew, but looking at his splits, he would have been third fastest at the top, and you can see the pace right off the bat.
Yep, make no mistake that he probably made a mistake in that because he is slaying right now. Look at that, making backside on pebbles there, right?
Oh, yeah, just staying so low, you can tell he's not having to pull up to get any of those gaps, even that gap out of the turn right there.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of cool places you can eke a little bit of speed out on this course, and he has found most of them.
Well, Dominic, no stranger to the Downhill Southeast. He's not towards the top of our overall sheet, so just trying to really get going this season, build some momentum as he builds into this run.
For sure. Like you said, he's a familiar name around Downhill Southeast.
Wow, and a 150. That would be just outside our top three from yesterday, so this is looking like a great run from Dominic.
Getting back on the gas after coming pretty close to that tree.
Yeah, he had to throw down a few watts to get back up to pace right there, and you're going to want all the watts you can get on this bottom section. Dominic's going to come across with a 3:14. Super competitive time. Would have been faster than Chris Leibig's time yesterday. As we go into our top eight, and Jake Kahn will kick us off out of Oliver Springs, Tennessee, right down the road. 3:20.23 is what Kahn threw down yesterday, so he's going to need to knock quite a few seconds off to bump Dominic off the hot seat.
That's right, and Jake is a regular at Downhill Southeast, but he's also a regular at Windrock. He's almost synonymous with the place in a lot of ways.
Hey, Jake.
So we're happy to see him here in the show at kind of his home track, right?
Jake.
Yeah, and he went outside of that tree, so different line than we saw from Dominic Mundy. And it's going to be a 33.79, 3/4 of a second back.
Nice tactical setup to drop into that line there.
Section just looks so fun.
Yeah, it really does. It's nice to have a fast flowy section to break up some of these rock chutes and places with a lot of roots coming on too.
Kahn whistling around that right-hand corner. Outside setup right there into the right-hander. Split number 2. Oh, and he's still in touch. He's less than a second back.
And there's a lot of speed to be made up in this motorway section down at the bottom, too. So you can never count that part out.
Well, here comes Con into this section. We will find out if he's been putting more time in on the pedals, because he's been putting plenty of time in on the Sur-Ron out here. That's for sure. He was 0.8 back. It's split number 2.
Quick and on the pedals right there.
Oh, and he's burying himself.
You can hear the pain. Nice pump track section here. Oh, big gap. Oh, that's going to hurt a little bit.
So this is our
Yeah, it's going to kill some momentum right there. So he lost time at the bottom at 3:19.
Jake is currently second.
Still dropped a second from his run yesterday. As we take a look at this rhythm. Tried to triple out there. Could not quite get it as we move on to Titus Nicholson for Defiant Racing. Titus has been having a great season so far. Came off a second place in snowshoe.
And he's grown a beautiful mustache. He's looking a little French there, huh?
Oui, oui.
Nice popping off that rock instead of rolling, giving it a wheelie roll.
We've seen some wild runs out of Titus here in Windrock. Got a little bit sideways coming into that rock section. And he's going to be back of Dominic Mundy by about 0.8, so right where Jake Kahn was at the top of the track. Plenty more terrain to go as Titus lets that rear wheel get sideways.
Yeah, definitely one of the looser riders that we have around here in the Downhill Southeast Series. Definitely love to see him get loose on his Instagram account. Plenty of mayhem there. Definitely go give him a follow if you don't already.
Well, like what I'm seeing here out of Titus, almost looks like he's saving some energy for the bottom, which would be a tactical move. Split number 2, so he's dropped back just a bit. 0.4 added to that deficit, so it's a total of 1.23 there.
Inside through the trees. I like it.
Yeah, so much track between split 2 and the bottom. Over a minute of track, so a lot of terrain for these racers to make or lose time.
With about a 10-second spread for those that made the show and seating, this is probably one of the longer courses I've seen at Windrock over the past few years. Am I right about that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we typically see times well under 3 minutes as Titus gets that big triple out. It's going to be a 3:16. He goes into second place, 2.31 off that time of Dominic Mundy, and also 4 seconds faster than yesterday. So should be a good run there for Titus. You see him kind of nodding his head as we go back up and take a look at this steep chute.
Yeah, it's hard to find any mistakes he made in this run.
Here's Spencer Brown. He's out of Pisgah Forest, North Carolina. He came in today with a 3:19 from his seeding run.
Nice exit from the start house.
Well, he's sitting 8th place in the overall, so he's got an opportunity to make up some points here with this great placement into finals.
Oh, that bike's making some gross noises, Will.
1.3 will be the deficit for Spencer Brown. Able to link up that double. He's not been able to crack the top 10 so far this season. If he can hang on to a good one here, he's put himself in position to do it.
Yeah, he's got some quantities of runs, keeping him pretty well positioned in the overall. Let's get a quality run here, and it's going to do some wonders for his placement in the overall, right?
Yeah, for sure. Outside here on that setup into the right-hander. It's split number 2 comes up, and he's third at split number 2. So just back by 1.67. Going to have to see him take some risks down here, I think, Drew.
Yeah, this is just a good, calm, collected run. He's keeping it together, and can't fault that.
Well, I think he's starting to turn it up. He ripped that final right-hand burn. All kind of pre-jumps over that. So maybe the pace picking up here for Spencer Brown on the bottom of this course. And a huge tug.
Big one. That's a pull. Didn't know skinny people were that strong.
Well, I said he had to take some risks, Drew, and he came out swinging on the bottom part of that course. Oh, he tries to squeak out that triple, cases it just a smidge, and he goes back to fourth. 320.76. It's still going to be one of his top results of the season. That's a guaranteed top 10.
Yeah, solid enough.
And here he is through that top rock section, goes outside the tree, and you can hear those slow-mo bike creaks. He's been riding that thing hard. We look at Conor Castler. He's out of Collettville, Missouri, riding for Trail Labs and Bike Center. 3:18 was the time he put down yesterday.
Nice floaty.
Yeah, getting floaty right there out of the gate. And an interesting line there as well. So painting the edges of the track is Conor Castler trying to get into the flow of this run.
Hard pressure.
Oh, that was brilliant.
It's one of the
though.
quicker lines I've seen through there.
And the time would agree,
Ooh.
Drew. He's half
That
second
proves it.
into the green. First person we've seen up on Dominic Mundy. Oh, creeping
Well,
here.
Something's not going on.
Yeah, trying to look at his jersey to see if there's any dirt. I do see some on the right sleeve, I believe, Drew, because, yeah, that's the look of a man who's shut it down.
Yeah, I don't see any flat tires or anything going on there. Still appears to be a chain on the bike. Hopefully the boy's all right.
Yeah, some more dirt I'm seeing there on his left knee. So he's sitting down. He's just cruising her to the bottom. The timing screen will confirm that 16 seconds back. But, man, what a good seating for him.
Yeah, and good on him for keeping it safe here and not trying to pull it back together. There's nothing you're going to do to pull back a placement once you've gone down.
Yeah, especially with the field here at Windrock that is putting down consistent runs. Folks at this stage of the result sheet from seating, actually really close, like really bunched up between that 318 that Castler had yesterday and like 322 between 5th and 13th place. So a lot of hungry riders trying to get into the top 10. It's not going to be Conor's day. Oh, give us a little manual for the fans.
Oh, Conor's having a
It's always a stylish way to get through rollers.
Had some issues out there.
Oh, man, yeah, his rear brake doesn't even look like it's working.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna go back up and take a quick look at this brilliant line as he threw it into the rock garden to make that inside work. Well, we've got 4 riders left to go, and here's David Kahn out of Etowah, North Carolina. He's got the whiskers flowing. Riding for Ride Rock Creek and Ride Canuga.
So yesterday was seating, but he also raced the Go Nuts Enduro at Windrock yesterday, as well as got his seating run done for the downhill. He's putting in some laps.
I'd expect nothing less from him. I'd be surprised if he didn't ride his cross bike home to the hotel after the race tonight just to get a few extra miles.
Yeah, right.
Well, he's a half second into the red.
It's a little hazardous to treat yourself that way on this weekend because it was a scorcher out there. There were a lot of people complaining about dehydration, and man, it was a really hot weekend to have to put yourself in a hole like that.
Well, looks like Khan's still got plenty of energy railing these new berms.
Yeah, very pretty and composed through there, nice and fast.
And he's up now, Drew. Wow, he's turned that around, so he's a half second up now. And I got a comment on the Frameworks bike. I mean, it's really interesting to see such a different rider from Nico and Asa because, I mean, David's not that tall compared to those guys.
Right, yeah, he's on the shorter side. It's also strange to see anybody from the Kahn family not on a Santa Cruz bike, too.
Yep, still getting used to that myself. is David. You know he's going to have energy down here at the bottom. Endurance, one of his specialties.
That's fast. Here in the motorway, on the pedals, just like an enduro racer would, right?
Dude, super smooth on those pedals. No wasted energy. Hey, he's going to scrub. He's not going to tug for that triple. A little bit of risk there. He's going to go second, 3:16.
Way to go.
1.5 off that top time, but that's a solid run from David Kahn. We're going to go back up. Outside line right there, Drew.
Well, something tells me he's going to sleep pretty good tonight. He's definitely earned his slumber.
Here's Dominic Mundy in the hot seat.
It was pretty good. I feel like I rode fairly safe after having a crash yesterday. I just wanted to put a time down and see where I'm standing. Just rode pretty safe through the steep techie bits and then got on the pedals at the bottom to see if I could do.
Well, 3 riders left to go. No one has knocked Dominic Mundy off the hot seat. Chris Leig will do his best to do just that out of Hardegrave, Maryland. Leig burst onto the downhill southeast pro scene with his win at his very first pro race in Massanutten.
That's right, and what is amazing here is that this is a generational rider. His father has more start gate dates than probably everybody else here combined, and he's given us the next generation of pro racers here. And again, this is proof that grassroots racing develops strong professional racers, because right now all of our big guys, they're in Europe, and makes room for him to come up and show that he deserves to also be at the sharp end of this race.
Yeah, he's one of the first riders putting a scare into Dominic Mundy at the top of the course. 0.05 of a second right there on pace for Chris Leig. Yeah, and you could see he didn't pull up there for the double into the berm, was almost trying to squash that, so he's definitely carrying good pace.
Yeah, I'm seeing some really good cornering out of this guy, too. He knows how to find the exit without having to lose too much speed.
And look at the time, Drew. He's 2 seconds into the green now, 1:48.
Yep, we're looking at the future right here.
Yeah, this is amazing to see. Leig putting together a good run right here. But like you mentioned, Drew, it's one of the longest Windrock courses we've had in years. So it'll be interesting to see what he's got left in the tank down here at the bottom.
Plenty of speed and style through there.
Oh, yeah, heads down. He's been doing sprints at home, you know. Kevin's got him training.
On the pedals, just like he should be, just like he wants it.
Smooth through there, no risks, and we're going to see Chris Leig come across in third.
Very nice.
3:17
Well
for the Defiant
done.
Racing rider. So maybe able to hold on to a top 3 there. Definitely top 5 with 2 riders left to go as we take a look at this line through the rock garden.
Oh, back wheel skipping around. Put it back down on the ground like he needed it.
He did good to hold that together, Drew. 2 riders left to go, and here is Nick Frasier. He's out of Vernon, Connecticut, and it looks like he's on a Southern Gravity bike, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. If I'm not wrong, I think he borrowed this one from old J-Ped.
Nice. Well, young Nick Frasier has been making waves here in downhill southeast. 2nd place at Massanutten, 3rd place at Snowshoeing. Now he's on a new big rig, trying to let it eat here at Windrock.
Kept it nice and planted.
And it's green by 200s.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, he's loose, Drew.
Yeah, that bike's got some magic in it. I love to see our grassroots racers.
Oh!
Wow, kicking up a plume of dirt.
That was dicey right on the edge of the track. He escaped one right there.
But how gratifying is it to see our grassroots racers on local handmade bikes?
And they're decimating timing sheets
Yeah,
at that.
look at
2.5
that.
seconds up.
Well, he's
Wow.
proving that this isn't just a garage-built thing. That's a thoroughbred race machine.
Yes, it is. And you got to give it up to Dominic Mundy for holding down the hot seat for so long. But Nick Frasier is just putting it to him on this run.
Yeah, he's not leaving very much on this track at all. Big pull.
Yeah, he's leaving the ground, Drew. That was massive.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's giving it gas. So Frasier, he's going to put down a heater of a time for Cole Sweetos to try and best if he can just get this one to the finish line.
Good pull. All right.
And it's a 3:12. 2 seconds into the lead. What a run there from Nick Frasier. He dropped a second from yesterday. Let's go back up and take a look at that run. There were some moments.
Bam. Well, it's a tough bike for a tough course, and he made it work.
Yeah, he did. And this is our final racer, Cole Sweetos out of Lenore City, Tennessee. He's been on the trail crew here at Windrock, helping to get this place dialed. He's looking to dial up a huge race run here today.
Yeah, Cole's substantial on the bike. He knows how to keep it planted. He can kind of manhandle it in ways that other people can't because he's a little stockier than the other guys, and he's a pleasure to watch ride.
Yeah, he's on the Defiant Racing team this year. So much talent there. Oh, and he's up by 0.69.
There's a nice little setup move there, too.
Yeah, pulling out all the lines here.
I have to imagine, being a California boy, he's enjoying these drier conditions than we've had at previous rounds.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, you rarely see Windrock this dry and dusty with all that moon dust, like you mentioned, Drew, on top of hardpack. It's an interesting surface for those of us in the southeast, that's for sure.
Yeah, there are times a year when Windrock is known as Mud Rock.
Oh, and Cole is putting it together. He's 2 seconds up here, 1:45 at split number 2. That's massive. That's 2 seconds faster than his seeding run yesterday, so he is just putting it to the field.
Well, he should know every inch of this track, and putting together an inch-perfect run is not out of his skill set regardless, so he's got a lot going for him here.
Yeah, and Cole is one of the best at carrying speed over rhythm sections. He's competed at the UCI Pump Track World Championships. Pretty prestigious event with a bunch of talented bike riders, and look at the sprint on him. All right, what can he put together through this rhythm section? Scrub. Greased the triple out.
Changed yesterday. He's going to be looking to do
And
that
Cole
or better to
Sweetos, he
take the
crosses
win
the
and
line, and it's going to be a win today for the Defiant Racing rider.
5 seconds.
A
He found
huge
5
margin.
seconds on that course.
That's incredible, Drew. What a ride there from Cole. Hey, all you can do is congratulate him as a competitor. Let's go to Cole Sweetos in the finish line.
Run was good, yeah. Took it a bit more chill up at the top because it was so loose today, and then just hammered down at the bottom and felt pretty good. But yeah, dry and hot out here, so that made it a bit of a challenge, but happy with how it went.
And here is our pro men's podium here. Cole Sweetos in first, Nick Frasier second, and Dominic Mundy hanging on for third.
Everybody there earned what they got. Super great race. What an awesome weekend out here at Windrock.
Well, that's a wrap for round 4 here at Windrock Bike Park. It was a hot one, but the rain held off, the track was fast, and that was an exciting round of racing. We hope you all enjoyed today's race replay show, and on behalf of myself and the entire Gravity Cooperative, we want to thank you for supporting US Downhill. Join us again in just 2 weeks as we return for round 5 at Snowshoe, West Virginia. We'll be back in the Western Territory for our season closer, and it's sure to be an awesome round of racing.